Hi guys, Rukshan here. Thanks for joining me for this video. Have you signed up to Threads? That's right, Threads. Mark Zuckerberg, Meta, Instagram's new platform, and the platform that has been heralded as the messiah that has come now to free the world of having to engage in open-minded political discourse without censorship, right? All of a sudden Threads has become the platform where you have censorship, where you have shadow banning, where all the bad things about Twitter that were removed by Elon Musk are now all of a sudden available at Threads. So a lot of people who are disenfranchised by Musk taking over Twitter and freeing the bird are all of a sudden very happy that that Mark Zuckerberg has come around and created this walled garden for them, this safe space where they can engage in safe, friendly conversations without having to deal with the alt far right conservatives or whatever they're thinking in their minds. Like, that's how this app is being sold. And of course, we have the media who are very gleeful at the moment. Now, we've seen how Musk has dealt with the mainstream media on his platform and pretty much told them where to go. So they are very happy that there is a competitor now to Musk that might dethrone him. So ABC writes, why Meta's Threads app is the biggest threat to Twitter yet. And it's so hilarious because we've had a few ABC journalists putting up posts saying, yes, see you later, I'm done with Twitter, on Threads now. And it's just quite hilarious to watch. Here we've got news.com.au. Mark Zuckerberg mocks Twitter owner Elon Musk with first tweet in 11 years. Ooh. Forbes, 70 million signups, 8 reasons why Threads is blowing up. This is The Guardian. Could Meta's Threads deal a knockout blow to Twitter? Mark Zuckerberg's rival social network's first serious threat to Twitter since Elon Musk's takeover. Meta's Thread upends social media in less than 48 hours. Ooh. Now, look, many of you might be thinking, it's just social media. Like, we have too many of these apps. Who cares? But look, I think at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, these platforms like Twitter actually do drive political discussions and discourse. And that's where people get their news, and that's where certain opinions are formed or certain things can be pushed or ideas be shared. So there is an important place for these type of platforms in our society. And I think Elon Musk, over the last couple of months especially, has shown how important it is to actually try to free these platforms from the constraints of censorship and government involvement. That's the last thing that platform should want to have, right? Overt censorship and overt government involvement in the way that discussions are controlled. Now, the reason that people are upset with Elon Musk is the fact that he did that in a way which allowed more people to have a voice and have a more equal platform, getting rid of things like legacy verification and opening up verification to more people, trying to deal with bots and AI and all this type of thing. Now, I'm not saying Elon Musk's interpretation of Twitter is the most perfect system. Of course, any of these platforms are going to have a flaw. But the fact that now the savior of the platform, this type of platform, is Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook guy, the notorious bloke that just loves giving away data to the government, worked with the government on a multiple election style things. And, I can go on and on about Mark Zuckerberg's just complete disregard for user privacy and how his apps are designed. This is the savior now, because all of a sudden he's offering a lot of these kind of left-wing people this echo chamber, this walled garden where they're protected and feels like a safe space. Because Threads itself, Mark Zuckerberg's already come out and said that he wants it to be like a friendly place where people have friendly conversations and all this kind of stuff. I'm not dissing the fact that conversations should be friendly or something. Like, people want to have friendly conversations, that's fine. But when you're engaging in serious political debates or serious issues where a politician said something and you're challenging them, all these kind of things, you can't always be friendly. The world is not a friendly place. People deal with serious problems. But if Mark Zuckerberg wants to make it a friendly place, I'm sure he can. But people have to come to terms with what that is. And the other major thing is, of course, they're saying, so many people are signing up, 70 million people, 80 million people. And look, in a couple of days, it'll probably be 100 million people. And it sounds like a massive thing. It sounds like all these people have left Twitter and signed up to Zuckerberg's new dystopian interpretation of what this platform should be. But the thing is, with all of this, what we need to know is the process of signing up to Threads through Instagram is like a no-brainer. If you have an Instagram account, which there's more than 1 billion people that use Instagram, it literally, in the app itself, it gives you the functionality to sign up to Threads, which takes you to the App Store. You just download the app, and then you log in with your Instagram account. So a lot of the users that are just signing up to Threads is just Instagram users. It's the same people on Instagram and on Threads. It would be a very small percentage of people who are creating a brand new Instagram account just to access Threads. So these numbers, which are being pumped right now, 70 million, 100 million, literally Mark Zuckerberg is running some sort of scam, in my opinion, some sort of like pump and dump where all these hundreds of millions of users are coming in, the same exact users. Of course, that's helping his brand look good and create this buzz around it, maybe even helping with investors or his stock price. All of these things are happening, but it's the exact same users just being given a new feature on Instagram, which is now a separate app that copies Twitter's functionality, right? That's the other thing. Like Mark Zuckerberg is literally, I think there's Twitter's actually suing or put out a legal notice towards Instagram Threads saying that, you guys have copied our platform potentially. You have also used previous employees who might have trade secrets, intellectual property, and we need a full accounting of this. So there's those complications as well. Like Mark Zuckerberg is so well known for either stealing apps or just copying ideas directly. And look, competition is not a bad thing. Competition is actually a good thing. And I actually think it's good to have a competitor to a platform like Twitter because it actually improves Twitter itself. But it's just whether you need multiple platforms of the same thing. There's sometimes a need for it. But the argument in this case is the fact that Twitter is like a right-wing echo chamber now, a conservative space, because more people have more access to free speech and discourse. Like that's the argument. The problem for people that hate Twitter is the fact that more people can openly speak now without being, offending people and having their accounts deleted for all sorts of crazy reasons. And the fact that now Mark Zuckerberg is offering that on Threads, that's appealing to these people. Like it just sounds hectic. But look, we already know that censorship will be rife on Threads. It's built into the DNA of Threads. Now, we've already seen a few posts removed. I don't know if there's been any accounts suspended, but there's already been a few threads removed for censorship because they use the same censorship system as Instagram. And the other thing that people need to be aware of is if you go from Instagram to Threads and you use the same account, you could be potentially risking your Instagram account as well with these strikes. So a lot of people who have just been posting, pictures of food, their dogs and their families on their Instagram, now all of a sudden have access to this text-based tool where they might actually share their thoughts. But because you said the wrong thing, according to the Meta Thought Police, you could risk your normal existence as well on the Instagram platform. Like, Mark Zuckerberg is not the guy to trust on any of these things. And this is just the app privacy. This is the things on the Apple App Store that shows you what data is actually accessed by Instagram Threads. And it's pretty much everything that you can think of that Instagram Threads gets access to. Now, par for the course, most users of social media, most of these apps have these same type of things. And you got to be aware of the fact that this is how it is. But Meta, Mark Zuckerberg's history of trying to siphon off this data for profit for other causes, it's very concerning. So this is kind of his end game, really, and it has been brought up. I think if he is going to, monetize the place in terms of selling ads, and he said our approach will be the same as all our other products: make the product work well first, then see if we can get it cleared path to 1 billion people. And then only think about monetization at that point. So definitely, they could get 1 billion people, potentially 1 billion like accounts that don't really do anything. They might do monetization and ads then. And I think they might even do it sooner, to be honest. But the most interesting thing of all of this now is that the Instagram boss was on Threads talking about this, and they've actually come out explicitly and said that they're creating this walled garden where they don't have political discourse. Right, he said Threads isn't for news and politics, says Instagram boss. I'll just read his actual post so you can have a look at what he said. The goal isn't to replace Twitter, The goal is to create a public square for communities on Instagram that never really embrace Twitter, and for communities on Twitter and other platforms that are interested in less angry place for conversations, but not all of Twitter. Politics and hard news are inevitably going to show up on Threads. They have on Instagram as well to some extent, but we're not going to do anything to encourage those verticals. So basically, this is the Threads Instagram boss bloke saying flat out that they are not interested in having politics in their algorithm being promoted to people, or political accounts or news accounts being a major key feature of Threads. It is literally a walled garden. And I think some people, even on the left, are disappointed now with this revelations, because they were looking at this as an escape from Twitter. But it turns out it's just Mark Zuckerberg's way of getting users onto a platform, creating buzz, and allowing, these Instagram influencers and everyday people that might have never used an app like Twitter, take part in sharing jokes and memes and inspirational quotes, and not serious news. Like, think about it. He's created a walled garden, created all this buzz, done all of these things, and then capped it off at not being able to, people to engage in political debates and ideas, because that's not what this is for. I mean, it feels like maybe I'm complaining about these things, but I'm just trying to explain to people like what is actually happening here. And it's not the way that it's being portrayed by the media as this Instagram killer. It's actually something totally different. It also almost appears like Mark Zuckerberg's like vanity project, so he can have a space to talk with his left-wing echo chamber. He's got his account there, Zuck. He's posting on Adidas and Backstreet Boys, doing all this stuff. But yeah, what do you guys think? Have you used Threads? Do you think it will kill Twitter? I don't think it will kill Twitter. I think Threads will probably have some sort of use case because of the platform that Instagram is and Meta is, and just how many users there are there. But I think it will end up being a wasteland for serious political discussions and discourse. And Twitter will, again, after this kind of honeymoon period, become the de facto place for these serious adults who are having serious conversations. And it might be a good thing to have an echo chamber for the left-wing lunatics to talk about whatever they want to talk about. All the crazy months that they organize every year, they can talk about all those things on Threads. I'll be there as well, just being observing and having Thread style discussions, and maybe sharing some selfies or something if you want to follow me. But I won't be taking part in any kind of serious conversations at this point on Threads. And I think Twitter is where that's all going to be happening. Anyway, guys, if you're enjoying my videos, you can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, Odyssey, and of course, Threads at The Real Rukshan. There are so many bloody social media apps. We just need Elon Musk just to make one for us called X, where we can do everything. See you guys next time.